Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Eugene Stefanov. I'm part of the marketing team at Perficient, and I'm very excited that you've joined us for today's webinar, in which we'll discuss cultivating pharma-patient relationships in the digital era. Before we move on to a brief overview of Perficient, I'll mention that we are recording today. So in the next day or so, we'll be sure to email you with information on how to access this presentation. Because this is a shorter webinar, we will not be answering questions during the presentation. However, you are welcome to submit questions that we can respond to via email or a phone call if you prefer. All right, about Perficient. So who are we? We are a consulting firm that delivers digital experience, business optimization, and industry solutions. The work we do helps cultivate and captivate customers, as well as drive efficiency and productivity. We have numerous locations across the US, Europe, as well as offshore facilities in India and China as well. A couple of statistics. We were founded in 1997. We're a public company that's traded on the NASDAQ. And we have more than 2,800 employees. We've formed strategic partnerships with each of the major technology vendors and also have dedicated solution and industry practices. Of course, one of these industry practices is life sciences. This graphic here shows our depth of experience. For example, we have relationships with 37 of the world's largest life sciences companies. I won't go into more detail on this call, but you're welcome to look at this slide more closely when we send you the link to the presentation. All right, now that I've covered the housekeeping items, I would like to turn the call over to today's speaker, Param Singh.
Thanks, Eugene. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, which is actually a first of a series of 30-minute webinars on incorporating digital technology into managing relationships with stakeholders related to clinical trials. We are very excited about this topic, and we're going to present on today. And I hope it excites those of you that are attending as well. You know, we're living in an exciting time for our industry, and tons of innovations occurring on a daily basis that I think is going to transform, and in some cases has already transformed our industry. Let me start out by introducing myself. My name is Param Singh, and I'm the director in Perficient Life Sciences practice, and I lead the clinical operations solutions and connected health for life sciences initiatives within our practice. I've been with Perficient over 9 years now, and I've been working in the life sciences industry my entire career, and have seen the evolution that we're really going to be discussing today during the webinar. And again, I'm very excited about the transformations that our industry is undergoing with all of the various digital innovations that are being adopted, and really glad to be sharing some of that information with you today. So let's take a look at today's agenda. Like Eugene mentioned, we have 30 minutes for the webinar today, so this is going to serve as a focused discussion on today's topic. We're going to start today's discussion with some context of why this topic is important. We're going to discuss some trends in general areas where we see the transformation to digital, and what it is doing overall, and how we manage trials and how we collect data, and in general how it changes what life science companies, physicians, and patients are focused on. Next, we're going to go into how to approach the patient relationship, and we're going to go over Perficient's specific service offering related to the topic, which we have branded Connected Health for Life Sciences. And this will serve as an overview of the whole service offering, and we'll then expand on the particular area of connecting with patients with some industry examples. And we felt that specific examples from the industry can really make this a bit more tangible. So we're going to look at specific examples where companies within our industry are using digital solutions to help manage the relationship with patients and engage directly with them. And then finally, we'll summarize with some key points and some next steps organizations can take to further this capability in this area and develop a strategy and solutions pertaining to the patient relationship, and then wrap up today's webinar. Again, since this is a 30-minute webinar instead of our regular hour-long sessions, we're not going to have time to answer questions live, but you can still submit your questions via the chat feature, and then we'll reach out to you and answer those questions directly. So with that, let's get started. So the first thing is we want to understand the pharma-patient relationship imperative. And to do that, we must understand some of the shifts within healthcare that are driving change and driving the need to redefine this relationship. And, here are some shifts that will likely shape the new healthcare landscape and drive opportunities for smart tech and other digital solutions. So first point is, patients are more empowered than ever to take control over their health and their health data. There's a plethora of information related to health conditions, how to manage them, what treatment options patients have, and any potential risks and side effects. So patients, being more informed, are empowered to guide the decisions concerning their health in a very direct way. So because of the way we gather this information and how we connect with each other, patients have really become advocates for their own health. So the dramatic shift in patient expectations of pharma companies and medical device companies as well. So whereas before the doctor relationship was the primary one for patients, now patients are looking directly to pharma and medical device companies for information and value-add services over and beyond treatment to manage their health conditions. So now patients are, expect personalized advice, support, and tools that were previously only provided by physicians. And this is a very, very unique opportunity for sponsor companies to develop a very direct relationship with consumers and customers. And it really shows that dramatic shift we're experiencing with this specific relationship alone. And companies that recognize this early and put a strategy in place are going to be the ones that are successful in establishing a loyal customer-based relationship. So let's look at next piece. So, in recognizing this shift, we need to understand what patient engagement really means. Some companies have tried to benefit from the shift and have taken, various measures to attempt this patient engagement, but have not been entirely successful. So to try to understand why these companies may have not been successful, let's explore what patient engagement is not. Mobile apps. So just building a mobile app or two doesn't mean that you're engaging your patient. There needs to be an entire strategy on mobile that needs to be understood first before you attempt to build an app for your direct consumer. Patient portals. We've seen many a company build patient portals only to have them sit idle with no patient traffic whatsoever. Again, if you take the strategy of if you build it, they will come, that doesn't work out in most cases. A Facebook page, social media is definitely part of the patient engagement strategy, but it's not as simple as just having social media pages or a Twitter account where you can send out tweets. And then unique marketing campaigns. What most marketing companies or marketing departments don't understand is that this is not simply just a marketing problem where you can develop a hipster-driven marketing campaign to address. And so with while each of these can be and usually are in some capacity part of a larger strategy around patient engagement through digital channels, each one of these in and of itself is not what patient engagement is all about. You know, a company cannot simply just adopt more modern tools as a solution for patient engagement. So what is the bottom line when it comes to managing these relationships? You know, it is that, again, there are some dramatic shifts in healthcare, and life science companies need to understand, harness, and benefit from these shifts, right? So successful organizations are going to be the ones that get ahead of this shift and develop a strategic vision for digital engagement. And that's where Perficient Life Sciences can help with our Connected Health for Life Sciences offering. Connected Health for Life Sciences is a strategy offering that is focused on helping life science companies manage relationships in a complex digital world. So the importance of using digital technology to engage with customers like, you know, patients, partners, and physicians is becoming more clear. But again, the solution is not as simple as adopting a more modern technology platform. And so for each of your customer groups, we recommend this three-part methodology called Connected Health that incorporates intelligent strategy, the appropriate technology to support that strategy, and then exceptional customer experience. And so you can see the types of initiatives this covers, but again, they all begin with the relationship strategy and roadmap and technical assessment, which is the cornerstone to any successful technical connected health implementation. So you can find more about this on our on Connected Health on our website. But the examples we're going to cover today are related to Connected Health and what can be achieved. So you'll get a glimpse into what Connected Health for Life Sciences can cover. So next, let's discuss actual industry examples. Today, we've brought 4 specific life sciences companies examples where they've taken specific strides to engage with their patients directly in a very different way from each other. And what we've tried to do is use companies that most of you would be familiar with as well. So today, we're going to look at specific examples from Pfizer, NovoNordisk, Novartis, and Synthesia. So in looking at Pfizer first, there are many things they are doing to better engage with their patients, but one of the most impactful ways they've used digital capability is to develop a patient-facing mobile app strategy. And this first point is very important. Again, they have not just developed a mobile app or two, but a whole mobile strategy which includes apps for patients, but also apps for other consumer groups such as physicians and site personnel as well. So the apps for patients, they're not aligned to specific Pfizer products, but rather aligned to specific conditions. So, even patients that may not be taking Pfizer products can benefit from these apps to manage their specific health conditions. And so they have apps related to migraine, to smoking cessation, mood changes, kidney cancer, breast cancer, and others. So the strategy here is rather than focusing on only individual products, they're engaging with patients with specific conditions to help them manage those conditions, which is a much more value add and regarded as more valuable to users. And so this strategy shows that Pfizer, as a life science organization, cares about the patient's well-being as a whole and not just about selling their products. The next company we're going to look at is NovoNordisk. So one of the things that NovoNordisk opted to do is focus on a technology partnership. So this is something that many companies are looking at in multiple industries. I was recently at the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, and there are a ton of new startup innovation companies developing technologies for all industries. And life science and healthcare is a huge focus. And companies are there to see what innovative technology is available and how it can be utilized to help their business and customers. And this is an example of such a partnership. So Gluco is a company that, since its founding in 2010, has had the mission of making diabetes management easier. So they've created an FDA-cleared, HIPAA-compliant web and mobile app that can sync from approved meter sync devices, and it can log, track, and report on all of the readings that are coming out of that, and even make that data available real time to the patient's provider directly. So, it allows the patient to choose from thousands of preloaded foods, with carb counts included. You can auto access your fitness and biometric data and get a full picture of what really drives your blood glucose levels for diabetic patients. And NovoNordisk is a global healthcare company with more than 90 years of innovation and leadership in diabetes care. So, it's clear that this partnership will serve diabetes patients in a very profound way. And this is very recent news because just earlier this month, the two companies announced that they're going to work together to deliver jointly developed and branded digital health solutions for people with diabetes. So the collaboration is going to combine NovoNordisk's deep knowledge of diabetes with Gluco's digital platform and data analytics expertise. So again, the life science company here has committed to not only bringing drugs and products to their customers, but something much more valuable that can have a significant impact on their patients' well-being. The next example we're going to look at is Novartis. And so their focus on patient engagement, or one of their focus on patient engagement, was their content management and their patient-facing websites and portals. Now, you may be wondering why and how this is innovative. Lots of companies have patient-facing content and websites, but what we've seen Novartis do differently is proactively refine and evolve their strategy on their patient portal to ensure that they're helping and engaging with their patients in the best way. And so, one of the things Novartis does is maintain a library of stories written by Novartis as well as patient stories, which is a cross between a blog post and success stories, and it's clearly aimed at patients. They focus on educating the patient, on providing relevant and evolving content to help manage their conditions. They focus on making their patients feel heard and giving them a voice. So, for example, they have specific programs in place where they involve patients in their clinical trial planning process for upcoming studies. So, patients can provide their input and feedback, especially if they've served on previous studies. And this leads to better planned studies with the patient in mind. Novartis also uses digital tools to capture patient-reported outcomes and lets their patients know that, again, they have a voice. They also provide an avenue for patients to engage with other patients and patient advocacy groups directly through their patient engagement portal. So, in this example, again, too often what we see is well-intentioned companies spend money and resources on patient engagement portals, but without an evolving and proactive strategy that is focused on your specific patients and their journeys, these may not have a high success rate. This is why a living, moving strategy around patient engagement is needed to ensure that you're giving your customers, what they need. And the last company and example we'll discuss today comes from Synthesio. And you may or may not have heard of Synthesio as it's not a life sciences company, but rather it's a social intelligence platform that allows companies to do large-scale social listening, to hear what their customers and partners and competitors are saying about them. So Synthesio is a leading social listening technology platform in pharma and healthcare, which listens to social media per your organization's specific interests and keywords, and it helps track real-time social and mainstream media conversations all around the world. The social intelligence platform can then turn that data collection into insights. It allows companies to gain actionable insights into the life science industry and market, and patients and customers. So what companies can do, they can monitor their brand satisfaction. It can help collect and identify and highlight product questions. These insights can also identify potential product complaints and adverse events for safety signal detection. This will also help the companies identify, who are the social influencers and advocates in the industry. It can provide insight into specific campaigns and content needs, so you can make sense of your data to drive smarter business decisions and evolve your digital and social strategy across the enterprise. This can also be integrated with other relevant data sources such as marketing automation tools to, again, automatically adapt to varying circumstances. And it provides interactive charts and graphs to visualize your total digital footprint and impact across all of these channels. And so, whether or not, whether you use Synthesio, I think I skipped ahead here. Whether you use Synthesio or, a similar platform, the key point here is it is vital to your digital strategy that you continue to monitor and analyze your digital strategy in a changing world. So those were our examples around patient engagement, and I hope they were helpful. With that, let's discuss some key takeaways from today's webinar. First, developing a digital strategy for patient engagement, again, doesn't mean just adopting new technologies. We don't want to throw technology at our patients, but rather, develop a strategy that's going to work for your patients. We need to ensure that a customer journey is part of that strategy where you ask them and study them to learn what they want and what they need. So that's imperative. Next, we're going to use that. You want to use what you've learned about your patients to design a strategy that is going to be valuable to them. So if patient engagement is truly your goal, organizations need to focus on solving patient needs and patient problems and not necessarily addressing business needs. These may be intertwined, right? But ensuring your priority is on the patient need will ensure that your patients will stay engaged. Next, technology and customer experience are going to be key in achieving success. And if you aren't experts in technology or user and customer experience, ask for help, right? Perficient Digital has been very successful in this area with other clients, and with Perficient Life Sciences industry experts, we can help in developing the strategy and tools that will resonate with patients. And lastly, it is imperative to continue collecting and analyzing data, to use the insights that it provides to regularly revisit and revise your strategy. Your patient engagement strategy is just as alive and evolving as your patient. So with that, let me go to the last slide and hand it back to Eugene for a wrap-up today. I hope you have found this webinar informative and helpful. And for any detailed conversations around connected health for life sciences, please go to our website or you can contact me directly. Again, thank you for attending today's webinar. Eugene?
Great, thank you, Param. What's next? Like Param mentioned, you are welcome to email him directly. His email address is on the slide here and will be provided also in the follow-up email that will be sent out to you in the next day or two with the recording. You are welcome to register for our next Connected Health webinar, which will be on transforming how sponsors and CROs interact with clinical sites. That takes place in March. We have a Connected Health for Life Sciences guide, which puts out 30 different examples how industry leaders are driving digital. You can download that from our website or just click on the link within the presentation that will be sent to you. We are very active on social media. Feel free to follow us at Twitter and read our blog and so forth. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out or reply to the email that we'll send to you shortly. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar, and we look forward to having you join us next time.